Good evening and welcome to the next eventing vlog. I've got a lovely scoop of sweeties, diddly-dee, all in my lovely red soap goop. And I'm going to find my ponies, la la la. It's a nice day today. Look at that. Not raining at the moment, which would be great. We're off eventing today. It's a donut again. I feel like he's been hogging the limelight for a little while. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that on here, but it's so pretty. You see how it's just like misty off the hill? Oh, super pretty. So pretty. Right, anyway, back at it. Like I was saying, I think Donut's been hogging the limelight, but you know, he deserves it. Maggie's had a lot of the limelight before. So he is heading off to Aston Walls this morning, and we are in the Novice for his first Novice of the year, his second ever go at Novice. Good morning, everybody. Who's that back there? Here comes my feral 4-year-old diddly-dee. Hello, Reddykins. How you doing? Good morning. Hi. How are you, Mr. Pretty Pants? Good boy. You alright, Skinny Minnie? Would you like one of these? He says I would very much like one of those. You're a good boy. Clever boy. Okay, so I've not put it out yet, but you're going to see his vlog before this vlog, so you know about him, hopefully, and if you don't, go watch it. This is my new boy, Mr. Red. He turned 4 just the other day, and he's very beautiful. He's just lived in a field all his life, but he's got good manners from his breeder, and you've lived with lots of other babies, haven't you? And I'm going to start breaking him in soon. You're a good boy. Although I hate the term breaking in, because it makes it sound like you're breaking them. I'm going to start educating him very soon about being ridden. Good boy. I've not got time to dilly-dally, but just admire your long legs and your little diamond on your nose and your cute face and Miss Maggie. And we need to get Donut and Flint over, so I best crack on. Oh, good eggs. Just take Maggie's jacket off. You good girl. You want another sweetie? She says, I do. And this one in the background who also wants another one. Good girl. Need to ride you later. You good girly. Very beautiful. Hello, Mr. Man. Mr. Man that can. You ready for another day out of eventing? More for you. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Oh, there we go. Well, as I headed down to the field, it was about 5:30, so it's probably about 5:45 now. And as I said, we're going to Aston to run in the Novice, and it's about, I think it's 10 days since badminton, so it's been fairly quick re-going, but he's feeling and looking very well, and I think it's sometimes good to do 2 on the hop just to really cement those good runs in. And he also hadn't run for a whole month before badminton because of cancellations, so at the minute it's a case of trying to get out when we can. Come on, buddy. Yeah, come on. Good boy. It poured it down yesterday, but I have been informed that it didn't pour as much at Aston, and the ground's practically firm there, which compared to us with our puddles is quite the contrast. Alright, you excited? Nervous? Oh, you know what it's all about nowadays, don't you, babes? Right, it is 5 to 6, and we're actually ready on time for a change, so I'm just going to grab Donny. The calmness of getting ready for grassroots, I mean, he's not running around, but he is, you see, he's trembling with anticipation, I think, because he seemed absolutely fine until the lorry switched on, and now he's a little bit like, oh my god, badminton was a bit of something else, so I think they really get a taste for it. Okay, you're dragging me. Lovely. I'm on the wrong side of you, donut. Yeah, like I was saying, I think he's got a taste for it. And I don't think he's worried. I think he might be excited. Good boy. He says, we're going back to badminton to see all the crowds. You're going to have to shock the system, mate. The jumps are going to be bigger and there's going to be a lot less people again. He says, I don't care, I'm a star.
7:59 a.m.
Here we are, cross country behind me, and we're parked with like these ridges. That's going to make the ramp really level, which is cool. Hi, Donny. He's travelled really well. Stood like a little rock. Much shorter journey than our last one with badminton. I wonder. Get the lorry ramp down because the back end's like really low to the ridge. Oh, yes.
No washing.
No washing. It's weird, isn't it?
Bizarre.
That's the least steep the ramp's ever been. Look at that. It's a life of luxury here. Okay then, so it's just a one-day event. We're back to normal. We're not badminton mode anymore, and this is more what we know. So straight away, let's crack on. And I was straight off to go and have a look at the course. They hadn't started running yet, so it was quite convenient that I could just nip around easily. So this is the warm-up. Had a little bit of a look at the warm-up fences. There was quite a nice related distance line. I don't know if you spotted it as I went by, where you could jump the fences on an angle to the brush fence. So, start box, and then a good space, I'd say, from the start box to the first fence. Lets you get in a rhythm before you actually meet your first fence. Nice round tops, sharing it with the intermediate, and then another bit of good galloping space and onto a house. So, really nice and straightforward start. I made sure to video most of these bridges because I always think it's quite spooky for them. Even though Donut's getting more experienced, it's still something to look at. Then fence 3, straight away a bit of a question, especially for the hundreds, up on the mound to do a bit of a fence into space. They're not going to know where their feet are landing. So we've just got a nice roll top, which means you can keep bowling on down to it. And if they go to leave a leg or have a bit of a look, the profile of the fence is nice because they can pull their leg over nicely. Then that was the hunt jump, which is a lovely travelling brush. So they've done it nicely. They've done 2 nice get into your rhythm fences, then a question, then a let-up fence. Then we've got this double, 2 strides in a straight line, quite straightforwards for novice, I'd say, just easing us in. And then they've given us another let-up fence, so really educational course. I found this a bit strange, just a random corner in the middle of nowhere, but makes us bring them back, I guess, and starts checking the accuracy. So we've checked the bravery over the fence into space at fence 3. We've checked the accuracy at fence 7. And then we're coming around to fence ABC, fence 8, ABC. And we're going to check their bravery and accuracy all at once. And I thought this was quite a decent question, actually. I was like, oh, okay, we're definitely doing a novice now. So you had a post and rail with the mim clips, down to a ditch, I think it was on 2 strides, and then curving line to the skinny. But we've got nice Christmas trees, and I think the skinny was on 3 strides. And then I've just gone and I've popped the bike to the side and decided to walk this properly, so that you've got to go up a slope, then down a slope, and they're going to see the ditch before they jump the first part. So the first question is, can you get over part A? Next question on Ditchy Donut is, can I get over part B? But I was thinking, well, he was good at badminton. And then the next question is steering to C once you've jumped over B. Then we've got this ginormous box, absolutely humongous. So I didn't linger on how big it was. I just cycled on by, and this was also quite large. Again, just cycled on by and thought, don't dwell on it. But in theory, they're nice fences for the horses just to gallop and jump over and actually be in their rhythm. The size shouldn't really matter to them. And then we went over the bridge and we had another random corner just in the middle of nowhere. So this time it was a left-hand side point. We had a right-hand side point earlier. So I really feel like Aston has built this to sort of check your training. It's a true check your training without tricking the horses kind of course. They're checking your education. And again, we're jumping a fence up a slope and then across, and I think it was like 2 or 3 strides, can't remember. And then we're jumping into space again. So you can see what the course builder's done in that they've sort of made a bit of a theme of we're going to check your accuracy and then we're going to check your bravery, and we're going to put these strong questions in, but we're going to build them up. So I did really like it in that respect. And then we've had a question, so then we have a let-up fence, which is a ginormous box. But you kind of have to get over the fact that they're big at this stage because you've entered a novice, so it's going to be big. Then here's the water. Quite a nice start off for the water, although the part C is probably a bit of a question that you gallop through and then you've got to turn to that and they won't necessarily spot it immediately. And then, because we've done a question, we get a let-up. So I was really pleased with how they'd built this course because I thought it was really horse friendly. You know, you get the galloping time, you get a break, you let them breathe, and then you question them. And again, so we've built up again, we've done a coughing combination. Now we're going to do a harder, scarier coughing combination. And there was only 1 stride from the ditch to the fence. And this was really kind of, the fence wasn't large, but it was right on top of that mound. So it just took some riding. And then this was sort of layered because he had 2 questions in a row. And there was this water question. I thought, blooming heck, I've never jumped anything like this in my life, let alone donut. So that hedge in when you stood at the landing side was as tall as me. I'm 157 centimetres. Obviously, it's smaller on takeoff, so it's okay, but it is a steep landing if they have a funny jump. And then that was a decent skinny on the way out. What I didn't show you is there was a long route just to drop into water, and I was considering taking that if he felt like he just needed a bit of extra confidence, because that will have been the biggest course either he or I have ever jumped. So a question like that can always be left for another day when we have been practicing a bit more and got more mileage. And then 2 let-up fences to the finish. Course walk is done and I am dressed. I've thrown some plats in quite quickly. They are by no means Babington plats. But it still looks smart enough. You good boy, you chattering. Hi. He's very excited, but doing it relatively calmly. I can't get this undone one-handed, need to concentrate. There we go, got it free. So like I say, plats are in, and I'm just going to get him out to give him a brush. It's beautiful here, really nice weather. Yeah, he's quite excited. I think Amber's run off with my plaiting gel because I can't find it in my bag. Sorry Amber if I find it later on and it wasn't you. But yeah, we're going to attempt to do some quarter marks and then we're going to get ready and go. They're not to Amber's standard, but I don't think they're bad. Good boy. May have forgotten to put the tail brush back in the lorry after unpacking. Sorry, Mum.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mum. And yeah, they're not bad. Not bad for a first try. Hey, Mr. Man, get you some hoof oil on. It's a bit warmer than the other day. Okay then, on to the dressage warm-up. I got on and tacked up in a hurry because I thought I was running late, and then I got down there and realised I was running really early. So Donnie got to stand in the sunshine for a little while and just chill out. And it's about nine or 10 days after badminton he went here, and obviously he'd had quite a bit of time just relaxing in the field after badminton, and then I'd hacked him, I'd done him a light dressage school, I'd done some bits and bobs, but I hadn't done any intense schooling. So we weren't massively prepared for this test, and his most schooling was probably done in this warm-up. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't care that much about the dressage. I know that sounds really, really horrifically bad, but it's kind of a formality that I know that I'll be able to sort out. But it was a really great time to sort of consolidate what we'd learnt in the jumping phases and go and get them done. And it's really funny because I'm normally very hot on the dressage, but actually I'm enjoying just being able to get some mileage with the jumping, because I'm not experienced at the higher level eventing at all. I'm good up to top end of grassroots, and then I've been desperately wanting to do more and do novice and more, hopefully, and it's just not happened for me until now. So very excited to be getting there, very keen to be doing well at the level, but actually there's a certain stage where you have to think, actually, I'm not going to burn my horse out. I'm going to make sure he gets enough rest and he gets enough preparation that we're not going to be completely unprepared, but also just balance it so they peak at the right time. So what I found was, actually, because he'd evented fairly soon before, he was a lot more rideable. I've been using a supplement for his gut that's really helped me be able to have my legs on anyway, which is brilliant, you know, unless he's really, really tense, and then I can't get my legs on. But if he's in a normal, relaxed moment, I can get my legs on these days, whereas I didn't used to be able to. And yeah, it's really helped. And then having him ever so slightly, not tired, but worked more, I think is the best way to describe it, meant that I could get them on even more. And you can see that he's actually able to be pushing forwards and riding forwards into the contact. And I was really trying to take on board what the dressage judges had said at badminton. I knew I wasn't going to fix everything in an instant, but, you know, all we can do is try and improve by one thing at a time. And I think that he's looking really brilliant and really happy. I will also say Donut doesn't adjust to the heat very well. So this is a bit the theme of the day. Like, it was really warm, and it's probably the first warm day we've had in quite a while. So it was going to take him quite some adjustment to get used to it. So I could tell he was feeling it, but he does just get on with it and do the job, which is a really, really good boy. So today is Donut's second ever novice, and I have only completed 2 novices before this, once on Donut and once on Maggie. I've done a few more dressage and show jumping phases with Maggie and not completed the cross country, but that's another story. So yeah, we're still green at the levels, both Donut and me, and it's still a shock for me having to do a halt on a centre line. I also find the step up from B100 dressage to B novice dressage quite vast. This is the first time I've done this test. So you're straight in with a halt and a salute, and then straight across the diagonal in medium trot. And he flicked his toes a bit, but he could have marched forwards a bit more with his hind legs. So we got a 6 for our centre line and halt, and a 6 for our medium trot with could show more. Then we had to do a 2-loop serpentine to X. I felt my first loop was too large, and this is just the cracks showing where I've not practiced in the run-up. And then canter at X, which I thought was a really hard move. And then you're meant to turn left at E, but you can see we sort of dribbled off on the diagonal. Then you do a medium canter, F2M, and I was really proud of that. That showed a difference, but he also came back to me really well. We got a 7 for our serpentine, a 6 for our canter transition, which was ran to canter, 7 for our medium canter, and 7 for our trot transition, which I was really pleased with. We then got an 8 for our medium walk, which was fantastic. Notice here I'm riding him in a little bit of shoulder 4, which just keeps him a bit more through to the bridle. And I was just feeling, as I was riding the test, I was sort of feeling my way around the test rather than saying I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've ever ridden an extended walk in a test, and I just put too much leg on. I was really wanting him to swing forwards, and I'd read that you need to keep their poll at the highest point but have them in a stretched frame, so I'd put a bit of leg on, and that was it. We started jogging a bit, and that was just my error. A lot of this test is riddled with errors where practicing more would have got rid of them, and it's just one of those things. And I went into the test knowing that, and I was actually really pleased with how he was riding through. So we got a 4 for the extended walk. We've jogged, pity, fair enough. And then we got a 6.5 for our serpentine with more supple bend needed. And you can see I fluffed the canter transition. I was wanting to make sure the canter stayed straight and we didn't dribble off on that diagonal line that we did on the other direction. But then we missed it. We didn't quite get it. And then I felt like the medium canter wasn't quite as good, but we did get a 7 for it. So then we had to go to trot at A and then straight into another medium trot, and we got a 6 because he needed more balance. We're still not established in that move. And then the last move was turn left at E, turn left at X, and halt at G. So again, another new move for us to do. And we got a 7 for that with fairly square. So overall, you can see it was riddled with mistakes, but there's all the bare bones of it ready once we've been able to do a little bit more practice. Good boy, Donut. Very proud of him. On top of that, we got a 7 for his paces, a 6 for his suppleness and engagement, 6.5 for his submission, and a 7 for my position. With the comments of lovely horse, now needs more engagement of hinds to help with transitions and balance. Quietly ridden, I think that says. So yeah, really nice comments and good progress, I think. Right, we went straight on to show jumping. I didn't vlog in between because I was actually feeling quite nervous. Everything just looks so much bigger at Novice, and I've had to teach myself to just get on with it. But especially the show jumping, you've got to be in control. So on watching this course, I watched lovely Sophie jump around her course. I didn't get to walk it because there wasn't a walk break, but I watched Sophie jump around and it gave me a bit of confidence seeing her jump around, which was good. She did a stellar job. But he did have his first ever treble in it, and it was a one-strided treble, and his first ever water tray, which I'm trying to show him these things, but he is not interested in the slightest. So I thought, oh well, I've tried to show you. We'll see what happens when we get round to jumping these bits. And I must admit, I was looking at it thinking, I wonder how many we can leave up and still go cross country, which maybe isn't the way to go in, but maybe it does take the pressure off. And then we jumped over that fence too that you've just seen him jump. And I thought, oh my God, what's happened to my horse? He's so different. And he just felt like he was jumping like a professional. Look at him. Really neat with his legs. I moved up in this distance to make sure we had enough power and got to the base of the oxer. And he just flew over it. And then here, I think we had a little bit of a fight. But even so, he was still neat and tidy. Then a dog leg down to a double. Got a bit quick. But look how neat and tidy he's being and careful. And I thought, wow, this is different. We're on the wrong leg here. And I thought, well, you're going to just have to sort yourself out. So we did a change, and then we came down to this and ping, flew over it. And then this is the fence we had down, and you can see I just rode him really forwards at it, and I think he had a bit of a spook. I rode him forwards, and we were never going to leave it up. But now we've jumped water training competition, I know I don't need to chase him over it. Down to the treble, pooing my pants, went in on the angle and then straightened him up in it, and he left everything up, which was amazing. And then this last fence was probably one of the 115 ones, and he just flew over it like a dream. So very, very proud of him. Very, very ecstatic at how well he jumped around such a big course and how much I actually enjoyed it.
That was 12 volts to add to a 31.3 dressage. 1013 jumps now. Evangeline Llewellyn-Smith with 0 west.
Who's to say if I'm going the right way or where I'm supposed to be? I guess I'll mess it up again. Kinda strange that I'm running in circles when no one is holding my leash. Yeah, I just make the same mistakes, and I don't wanna talk about it. I just wanna be teen again. What's gonna bring you down when all you do is hang out with your friends? I just wanna feel 18 again. Why'd it have to change? Who's to blame when you're all out of chances and nothing is going your way? Let's just see how bad this gets. I'm 30 something now and everybody seems to have their shit together while I'm just passed out drunk and I can't even talk. I just wanna be 18 again. What's gonna weigh you down when all you do is hang out with your friends? I just wanna feel 18 again. Why'd it have to change?
Just quickly checking in. We've show jumped on a very hot donut. It's about 20 degrees today and he doesn't adjust to the heat very quickly, bless him. It was fantastic. The course was big and technical and he only had a pole down. We had mistakes in the dressage, which, you know, it was going to happen. We've not practiced that test. We've run through it once and we've not been practicing the moves for it, but he was fab. He did a really super job and we had the mistakes, but we still got 35, which I was quite pleased with. Here we go. Cross country is done. And my little superstar, he's actually dry already. It's so warm today. So warm, isn't it? So I've got some ice on his legs and his studs are out. He was fantastic. He did the most brilliant clear with planned time penalties. I hadn't gone out intending to go fast. We just wanted to get more mileage under his belt. And I've actually found today that I can feel that, you know, he's not as fresh as he was at badminton, which has been quite nice because it makes him almost a bit more rideable. But that then combined with the fact that he's blooming hot. I don't know how warm it is. It must be over 20 degrees and he's just not used to it, bless him. So I spent the day with sweating and with his veins up, and he does go in the heat, but he needs adjustment time, so he's found it quite hard today and he still got on with it, which is fabulous. You're a good boy, weren't you? And he flew around. I did find that because it's warm and he's probably not as fresh as usual, he wasn't as adjustable as usual, so I couldn't sort of like bring him back, sit him on his hocks, jump, gallop as much as usual. But that's okay because we hadn't planned on going fast anyway. I took one long option at the last water because he'd answered every other question, and with the fact that he was feeling ever so slightly tired, it was just a wiser option to just give him a bit of time. He'd answered all the coughing questions, which is really good because they were proper coffins where you had to jump a fence up on a mound and then slope down, and all of the technical questions. This is much more technical novice than the one he'd done at Oasby last season, and he just did it. So I just thought, well, that big hedge into water, I am 90% sure he'll go, but let's leave that question to another day when he's feeling a bit fresher and less like he's been tested around the rest of the course. So we did come back from cross country minus one item. I shall show you amongst his eyes. Whoopsie daisy. So Mum is off looking for it. She went to secretaries for me, but it hadn't been handed in, and I didn't feel him pull it off. I only noticed when you walk to the wash bays, it's sort of like tarmac planings and it's quite stony, and he went ouch, and I thought, he's footsore through his pad, and then I realised he was missing a shoe. So it'll be interesting to know where he lost the shoe. Boys, Loki, wait. He's so noisy. It'll be interesting to know where he lost the shoe, because I would have been none the wiser around the course. So anyway, I'm gonna get him sorted out. He's got his ice on. I've made like a bit of a recovery mash with pink mash and electrolytes and a bit of chaff and a bit of mix. So I'm going to give him that nice sloppy mash afterwards, because he's not been interested in drinking today. But overall, completely thrilled. I've just spotted Mum over in the distance. There she is. Whoops. I hope she's found your shoe, Donutty. And James can put it back on you on Monday. He says, I don't know where she is. You ready for a bit of mash? Yummy scrummy. And I've got some tidying up to do. The aftermath.
People tried to collect those shoes before, and I said, it's got a pad on it.
And it's got plastic studs.
Plastic studs in. And he went, oh, is that what they are?
Have they dated them? 10-3.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my number.
Yeah, you put your number on it.
1013. Ah,
Really lovely people.
good old fence judges.
Yeah, well, you can't beat a good fence judge.
Superstar volunteers. Good boy. There we go. We've had lunch. I've tidied up the mess. And Zoney's had his 2 rounds of ice on, so his legs are nice and cold. And then I just put these equi socks on. They've been made to measure for Maggie, but they seem to fit all my horses. But they're just a little short for Donut, because he's obviously got very long legs. And they're compression socks. Good boy. So basically they do the same job as a bandage does, but you get rid of the margin for error of having it too tight, too loose, and you get rid of the chance of inconsistent pressure down the legs, because it's literally just on a zip, and then the fabric does the job. Loki, be quiet. Good boy. So he's all sorted. He's had a snooze. About to load him up. He ate his sloppy pink mash, and then I just washed his bucket down with water, and he's been sipping away at that. So I'm just going to stick travel boots on, get him loaded, and we'll head off home. Hey, good boy. Checking that there's no sweat left on him anyway. He says he's had his wages. Lots of sweeties. Muzzy. Mosquito. He says I can't walk with my travel boots on. There we go. The ramp's not too steep today, bud. Oh, still fall over at the top anyway. Why would we change a habit of a lifetime, huh? Good boy.
2 hours later.
Hello, Big Red. We're back. The flies. Good boy, Tony. You done snacking? I forgot to sign off, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Where I'm supposed to be. I guess I'll get up.